Good morning, everybody, and it's an absolute pleasure to welcome you today to our online class. Today, we're talking about a very, very relevant and pertinent topic in our times today, toxins. Toxins in our food, toxins in our body, toxins everywhere. And we've got two amazing speakers that are specialists in their fields. Without further ado, I want to introduce our first speaker, who is a sports scientist, food scientist, and a specialist in terms of certified low carb and keto nutrition. I hand over to Faranak, and Faranak is not only a specialist in terms of this, but also how to help use essential oils to aid your body in terms of great wellness for you. So Faranak, I'm going to stop my share and I'm going to hand over to you and look forward to you sharing your pearls of wisdom with us. Over to you.
Thank you so much, Melanie. Good morning, everyone. Nice to be with you again. And thank you for a lovely introduction, Mel. Okay, so we're going to talk about a very exciting topic today, talking about the toxic load in our environment and how to reduce that toxic load. So in our modern living, we may be exposed to hundreds of thousands of toxins on a regular basis. So let's just see that what is toxic load and how can you reduce it. So toxic load basically refers to the accumulation of toxins and chemicals in our bodies that we ingest from a variety of sources, including environment, the food we eat, the water we drink, personal care, household products that we use. And if a person has failed detox pathways, even if they've always eaten healthy and exercised, they could be more prone to disease. So toxins in the body have been linked to cancer, autism, neurocognitive disorders, mental health issues, autoimmune disorders like Crohn's disease, colitis, arthritis, lupus, and a few others. So toxins are anything that gets in the way of the body's ability to do its job. When you become toxin, the mechanisms for detoxification in the liver get sluggish and certain toxins can remain active longer than we want or than our system can handle. This makes us sick and impedes normal metabolism. So toxins come from many sources. Actually, we are constantly surrounded with man-made chemicals which our bodies were never meant to be exposed to and are not designed to handle. This toxic load can be deadly to your health even if you don't notice it right away. So in fact, you are probably not even aware of the many chemicals that you ingest and are exposed to on a daily basis. Over time, hundreds of poisons accumulate in our tissues, causing numerous disease, illnesses, and you may be shocked at how many chemicals you are truly exposed to on a day-to-day basis. About 90% of all chronic disease is caused by food choices, toxic food ingredients, nutritional deficiencies, and lack of physical exercise. So I am going to specifically focus on the toxic load in our food, and I know that Jessica is going to cover the other toxics in our environment. So do you actually know that what you eat? Do you really eat nutrient-dense food, or are you eating toxics every day? So let's dig a little bit deeper and see what are the toxins. So the first toxin in our food system is basically the added sugar. Sugar and high fructose corn syrup are often referred as empty calories. However, the harmful effect of sugar goes way beyond that. Sugar is high in fructose, and excess fructose intake has been linked to many serious health conditions, including obesity, type 2 diabetes, metabolic syndrome, fatty liver disease. It is also linked to breast and colon cancer. This may be due to its effect on blood sugar and insulin levels, which can basically drive tumor growth. While some amount of sugar are harmful for most people, some individuals are unable to stop after small amounts. So in fact, they may be driven to consume sugar in the same way that addicts consume alcohol or take drugs. And research has shown that sugar has addictive properties. You basically release dopamine, which is a neurotransmitter in the brain that stimulates reward pathways. So the more sugar you have, the more addictive you become to that sugar. And it is important to know that sugar is these days it is in everything. It's not just something that tastes sweet. You can find it in all the processed packaged food, all these low-fat, fat-free products. They all have sugar. Even the sugar-free products, they loaded with sugar. So don't ever think that your Coke Zero doesn't have sugar. Those sugar-free sweets are really sugar-free. They're not. So sugar have many, many different names. This is just 56 different names of sugar. So just remember, sugar by any name is sugar. So you might not recognize all these names. If you look at the food label, sugar might be any of these names, which normal people don't really recognize. So it is important to be able to know how to read food labels. The second harmful ingredient or harmful, basically food stuff that we eat is vegetable and seed oils. Refined vegetable and seed oils, like things like corn, sunflowers, soybean oil, cottonseed oil, as well as few others. They are basically refined vegetable and seed oils. They're really seed oil. Vegetables don't really have oils. Years ago, people were urged to replace saturated fats, which is the fat which is solid in a room temperature, like animal fats. We have been encouraged to replace that with vegetable oils to reduce the cholesterol levels and help prevent heart disease. However, a lot of evidence suggests that these oils actually cause harm when they're consumed. Vegetable oils are highly refined and they don't have any nutrients. In that respect, they are kind of empty calories. Other issue with them, they are highly, highly refined, meaning that they have been added so many stuff to doses to be able to get that oil out. It is not just a cold press, it is basically heat and chemicals added into it. They also have a very high content of omega-6 fatty acids. Omega-6 fatty acids, we do need them, but not too much of it. So omega-3 fatty acid is the fatty acids that we need a lot. There is a certain ratio of omega-6 to omega-3 fatty acids that we need in our bodies. That ratio is anywhere between 1:1 to 3:1. So you need to have about 3 times more omega-3 to your omega-6. And this ratio is completely out of balance these days. Research shows that people usually have 16 times as many omega-6 fatty acids as omega-3s in their bodies, and that can cause a lot of inflammation, mental health issues, depression, anxiety. So that is one reason that you should also stay away from that, as well as also observational studies found that women with the higher risk, highest intake of omega-6 fatty acids and low intake of omega-3 fatty acids has about 90% greater risk for breast cancer than those who have more balanced intakes. So the other thing, when you cook with these vegetable oils, it even gets worse because when they exposed to heat, they can release harmful compounds that may further increase the risk of heart disease, cancer, and inflammatory condition. They also can turn into trans fats, which is a very harmful fat, which I'm going to go through it just now. So yeah, another reason that you should stay away from those vegetable and seed oils. So trans fats are the unhealthiest fats that you can eat. They are structured in the way that our bodies can't recognize them. So they are created by pumping hydrogen into unsaturated oils in order to turn them into solid fats. Or when the oils get exposed to the heat, they can turn into trans fats. So the difference between the structure of trans fat and a normal unsaturated fat is just a small swap between hydrogen, which kind of switch sides. And then if the oil is structured in that way, then it's not good to be used. Your body doesn't recognize or process trans fat in the same way as naturally occurring fats. So eating them can lead to a number of serious health conditions. It can cause inflammation in the body. It can cause cancer, type 2 diabetes, obesity, insulin resistance, heart disease, and chronic inflammation. So we know that chronic inflammation is the root cause of many other serious health conditions. So for that reason, trans fat is the fat that you should definitely stay away from. So if you see it on the label of the food, you just don't touch that food. Also, that trans fat, you basically can see it in all these processed foods. BPA is another poison in our food. It is a chemical found in the plastic containers of many common foods and beverages. So the main food source of bottled water, packaged foods, and canned items such as fish, chicken, beans, and vegetables. Studies have shown that BPA can leach out of these containers and into our food and beverages. So research have basically reported that food sources make the biggest contribution to BPA levels in the body. You can basically measure that BPA levels in the urine. So too much of BPA can mimic estrogen by binding to the receptor sites meant for that hormone. So it can disrupt normal function of your estrogen. Also, studies on pregnant animals have shown that BPA exposure leads to problem with reproduction and increase the future breast and prostate cancer in a developing fetus. So it is basically that BPA, which can leach out of those containers into the food, can cause certain health issues like infertility, insulin resistance, type 2 diabetes, obesity, and hormonal imbalances, thyroid issues, and cancer. Okay, another one, preservatives, which are added to our food. So preservatives are usually added to food in order to keep it safe and fresh for a longer period of time, also make it to look better, and increase the shelf life. So one of the very dangerous preservatives is sodium nitrate. So sodium nitrate is added to meat and especially processed meats. It prevents the bacterial growth. It gives the meat that salty taste and a pink color. So sodium nitrate is in the products which is usually heat treated. So you can find them in a lot of processed meats, for example. The certain issue is that if that sodium nitrate exposed to heat, it can form nitrosamine, which is highly, highly carcinogenic. And unfortunately, all those cold meats, you usually reheat them. So you add them on top of your pizza. A lot of bacons have sodium nitrate. So if you see sodium nitrate on a food label and you know that you're going to expose that certain food into the heat, you know that you are eating poison. So just be aware of that. MSG is another preservative. It is a savory flavor enhancement, which reduces the amount of salt needed in the food. Some people are sensitive to MSG, and for those people, it can cause headaches, sweating, numbness, and tummy issues. Sodium benzoate is another harmful preservative, which you really, really need to be aware of. They usually add it to the acidic foods and drinks, things like sodas, orange juice, Coke, those kind of things. It can cause hyperactivity, specifically in kids. And a certain issue comes when you have the combination of that sodium benzoate plus vitamin C or ascorbic acid in the same product. Because if these two are together, they form a compound called benzene, which is also highly carcinogenic. It can cause cancer. And if you look at all the acidic foods and drinks, they naturally have that ascorbic acid or vitamin C in it. So those two compounds are already in there. So you are literally just drinking poison. So if you see sodium benzoate plus ascorbic acid, which is another name for vitamin C on the same label, you make sure that you never, ever touch that product. Okay. Yeah, so those are the most harmful ingredients or preservatives in our foods. And then we have food colorings and dyes. We have different food colorings, talking about artificial food colorings, not the natural ones. So those are different names like yellow 5, yellow 6, green 3, blue, whatever. So they are linked to cancer, ADHD, allergies, hypersensitivity, asthma, and hyperactivity, and specifically in kids. And it is just important to know that we have a FDA, which is a Food and Drug Administration, which kind of needs to give it a go to the product in order to be used in the food industry. So they do a short-term and a long-term study on that specific ingredient to tell you if it's safe to be used within your food or not. And usually all the food industry research has been funded by, unfortunately, by these food industry like Coca-Cola funds a lot of research. So usually it is not in their best interest to tell you the truth, so they can change the outcome of the research and yeah, to their benefit. So but even within those studies within animal studies, it shows that this food coloring can cause cancer in animal studies. In human, they never studied it long enough. And well, they haven't said anything, but you can see if it can cause cancer in animals, there is definitely a certain health issue for us as well. So try and stick to the natural food colorings instead of the artificial ones. Other one is pesticides, which is basically linked to birth defeats and certain cancers as well. So with regards to pesticides, usually when they are applying it to the plants, they don't want you to be there. So if it's not safe to breathe in, how is it safe to eat? So try and stick to organic foods, which should be officially pesticide free, which is a safer option. The other thing which is kind of harmful in our food is GMOs, which is genetically modified organisms. GMOs are found in 80% of packaged foods in the US right now. So meaning that much of the corn, soya, cottonseed, and canola grown in the US and in many other countries is made from genetically modified organisms. The long-term human impact of GMOs is unclear, but yeah, there are usually sprayed with chemical pesticides that we already know they are unhealthy. So look for organic foods wherever it's possible. So as you can see on this side, so this is a normal corn that we used to have. And on the right-hand side is the genetically modified organism. So you can get a lot more out of one plant. There is, that plant is in a much better shape. And this is just a percentage of like 93% of the soyas that we use today, 3% of the cotton, 90% of the canola, 86% of the corns, and as you see the rest. So they all genetically modified. So unfortunately, the food that we eat today is not the same as we used to have 100 years ago. So that's why it is causing so much of issues in our bodies. So now how our bodies can handle toxins. So humans are on the top of the food chain, and because of this, we are generally not exposed to single toxin at a time, but to a complex mixture of toxins. So this includes pesticides, other environmental chemicals from multiple sources, animals and what they've consumed, plants and their exposure to chemicals, as well as our direct contact with contaminants in the soil, water, and air. So it is largely unknown how these multiple toxins interact with one another and where the threshold of simultaneous exposure effects might be. So how an individual's body handles exposure to toxins determines the health of the body. Excess toxins may make it difficult for the body to properly carry out essential functions. And fortunately, our bodies are equipped with a detoxification system designed to manage toxins and help maintain health when exposed to harmful substances. Toxicity occurs when the detoxification system basically becomes overloaded with more toxins than can be eliminated. So there are many signs that your body's natural detoxification system may be overloaded, and these includes, this sign might be things like headaches, fatigue, muscle pain, skin rashes, digestive issues, IBS, those kind of things. Those are all signs of that your body's detoxification system can't work. And for centuries, many cultures have promoted detoxification for healing and religious purposes. In today's culture, this concept may also be a matter of necessity. And because of the daily use and daily bombardment from an increasing number of toxins in our external environment these days, including additives, preservatives, artificial ingredients in processed foods, our detoxification system's capacity to handle these toxins might be suppressed. So it is important to use other health approaches to try and reduce your toxic load. And basically that's where our oils come in. So that they can give you that extra support, because you might go through a detoxification process. For example, you might go through a certain process of detoxifying using certain products for 2 weeks. That might be useful, but when you go back to your normal life, because you can't control everything, we do as much as possible to reduce our toxic load, but you can't reduce it 100%. So that toxic load is still there. So it is good to actually use our therapeutic grade essential oils to reduce that toxic load. We all know that citrus oils specifically have cleansing properties, so those are things like grapefruit, lemon, lime, wild orange, tangerine. So they are literally antioxidants, and they have anti-inflammatory properties. They help keep up the gut flora in balance. They also help to dissolve fat-soluble toxins in the body, including the lymphatic system and our mucous membranes. They also help with both phase 1 and phase 2 of the detoxification process in our body. So phase 1 of the detoxification is converting toxins into less toxin forms, and phase 2 is neutralizing that phase 1 byproducts and make those toxins water soluble so that your body can literally get rid of it through a liver detoxification process. So citrus oils can help with phase 1 and phase 2 of detoxification. They also help with insulin resistance, and they have mild appetite suppressing effects. And they also can prevent cancer, and more specifically skin cancers. So it might be a good idea to just keep it use this citrus oil in your daily routine. You can add it to your water. It actually gives a brilliant taste to your water, and it can keep you away from having those sugary drinks and fruit juices which are loaded with sugar and other harmful ingredients. So try and include them in your daily routine. Lemongrass is another oil which is good for detoxification. This oil can actually help with the phase 2 of liver detoxification. So it also lowers oxidative stress in the liver. It reduces the excessive cholesterol. It reduces airborne bacteria by 89%, and it helps and prevents in skin, colon, and liver cancer. So it basically, by using that, you can kind of help prevention from those cancers. Juniper berry is another one which is really, really good for detoxification. It has anti-inflammatory and antibiotic effect. It helps to support your immune system, respiratory system. It is a great support for the skin detoxification. It is very supportive for kidneys and urinary system. It helps support to get rid of excessive uric acid in the body, as well as other toxins. And it's helpful for water retention, kidney stones, urinary tract infection. So that's a good one to be included if you have any of those issues. And then we have our beautiful Xender Grind, which is actually a detoxification blend. So it is a blend of few oils together. And it supports the healthy functioning of the liver, kidneys, colon, lungs, and skin. It helps the body's natural ability to eliminate toxins and unwanted substances. It is great antioxidant, helps the body to eliminate free radicals, which can slow down your system. So so that is a great one. If you know that you need to get rid of toxic loads, if you know that you are eating very unhealthy and you want to change your lifestyle, so it's a good one to include right at the beginning, specifically to try and get rid of that toxic load so that your body can function properly. And then Smart and Saucy is the other metabolic blend, which is also great for detoxification. So it's got peppermint, ginger, it's got grapefruit and a few other oils. It helps with craving. It can manage hunger throughout the day, especially if you ingest it. It can support healthy metabolism. It's good for blood sugar control, and it's got peppermint, which is also known to help clean the lymphatic system and support the gallbladder, decrease inflammation, support the digestive system. It can give you energy. It can eliminate toxins. It's also good for boosting your mood. So that is also specifically good for people who want to lose weight, to include it in your daily routine. I know some people don't like the taste. Some people enjoy the taste. So if you don't enjoy the taste, you can have it in a veggie cap. And yeah, it's also got cinnamon in it. So yeah, so it's also a very, very good one to be used. So those are basically the oils which can use to get rid of toxic load in your body, but we have a lot of other oils which can help you to decrease your toxic load in other aspects of life, because we all know, for example, stress is another toxin in our environment. If you don't sleep enough, that's also, you need to mention that in our environment, cleaning products, detergents, so those kind of things. I think Jessica will gonna go through those. Just to sum it up from my part is that Basically, minimizing exposure to toxins is important, but equally, if not more important, is the role that diet plays in combating toxicity. Nutrients can provide information and material to the detoxification system, so it functions optimally. So by making dietary and lifestyle changes, you can not only decrease toxic load, but also increase your body's ability to clear out the toxins. So your diet is not only what you eat, it is what you watch, what you read, the people you hang around. So be mindful of these things that you put into your bodies emotionally, spiritually, and physically. So look after your body, mind, and soul all together. Your health there should be a holistic approach towards your health, as we always talk about it. So yeah, that's from me. So I tried just to cover the toxic load in our food, the most important parts. Yeah, I will hand over to Jessica to cover the rest of the toxic load in our environment.
Thank you, Faranak. Wow, that was amazing. And I just want to, I'm going to leave that just for a minute or two, Faranak. Won't you just leave that on so people can get your contact details? And while we're doing that, I just want to say I've been walking this journey with Faranak. I've completed 13 weeks changing my diet. It's exactly what Faranak was saying. You know, it's not just a simple, and we're not just saying take an essential oil and you're going to be fine. I've taken 40 odd years to get, I'm in my 50th year. I'm going to be turning 50 this year. I've taken 50 years to get to this point. No tablet, no essential oil, no miracle something is just going to make all those last 50 years disappear, especially for me who had taken a lot of drugs to get rid of the pain in my head and headaches. And I've realized it's what I was eating that's been part of the inflammation in my body, part of what I was stuffing into my mouth, whether it was eating or drinking cool drinks or the lifestyle that we live in terms of stress. And so it's been a journey of unpacking some of those very poor habits for myself and literally changing them. And you can't change everything. It literally is taking one step every single day and bringing about the change you want. But we can't dream about a healthy body or about sleeping right and a whole lot of other things if we don't do that one daily step. So please take Faranak's details down. If you'd like to contact her, she has her own practice and you can do that. And I know this is part of Darlene and I's journey and we are loving this. And I know probably Darlene will add her part at the end, but I want to say it hasn't just been about the weight, and I have lost weight in the last 13 weeks. I've now this week lost 13 kgs. It's been amazing, but it is about feeling better. It's about taking less medication. It's about going for that walk outside, moving, drinking the water and eating healthy, and incorporating this beautiful thing of essential oils into our being. So I really want to, if you want change, contact Faranak and she will be able to lead and guide you. Jessica, we are looking forward to hearing about your incredible story. And so I'm going to be sharing your presentation, but you can take over. Good morning and welcome.
Hi, good morning. Thank you so much for having me today, Faranak. That was so informative. Thank you so much. So Faranak has touched on toxins generally that you find in your food, and she's just touched on a little bit of the others. And I'm going to be focusing more on toxins as a whole because they really have infiltrated our lives everywhere, as she's already touched on. So basically, what are toxins and how do we stop the overload? Because we can't stop our exposure completely, but we can stop the overload. Okay, and basically the question is, how do toxins actually enter our system? And basically they enter the bloodstream via numerous routes. So for instance, inhalation, ingestion, through injections, and exposure to the skin and the eyes through cleaning products and what you're putting on your skin. Toxins also build up and develop over time from increased production of or decreased excretion within the body. So your body can't actually get rid of it. And then also with diseases such as chronic kidney disease and liver disease can cause toxin build up. And that in turn can disrupt body systems. Immunosuppression and certain genetic enzymatic deficiencies may also increase susceptibility to toxin accumulation within the body or decrease toxin excretion. And then also the dysregulated use of pharmacological agents also results in toxicity. So that's why some of these agents should actually be regularly administered under the guidance of a health professional. So those are some of the ways, and Mel's already gone on to the next slide. Thanks, Mel. So basically the human body has built-in mechanisms to eliminate these toxins, and the liver and the kidneys are the primary detoxifying organs that filter out toxins from the blood, which when they are excreted and released, it's generally through sweat. But if the body fails to flush out these toxins properly, they can build up over time and turn poisonous to our bodies. And these chemicals are known to inhibit certain enzymes that are required for certain body functions, okay? Also, toxic overload can damage your tissues, compromise organ functioning, and that is what gives rise to a wide range of health problems, as Faranak has mentioned. Okay, next slide. So what are the signs of toxic overload? So these are some of them: constipation, weight gain, constant fatigue, skin problems, headaches and migraines, mood swings, bad breath, muscle pains and spasms, insomnia, overheating of the body, and sweating. In my next slide, or what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to break down the toxins so that you can recognize what is causing these problems in your own life. So basically the next slide, we're going to talk about toxins and weight gain. So many environmental toxins can affect metabolism and hormones that lead to weight gain. So when the body is exposed to excessive toxins and cannot excrete them efficiently, the toxins can be stored as fat to prevent them from circulating in the bloodstream. The problem with this is when your cell is toxic, your body won't use it because it knows that if it uses it, it's going to poison your body. So what it does is it actually just stores those cells as fat, and then you never get rid of them without assistance that we'll discuss later on. So some of these toxins are like pesticides, plastics, flame retardants, phthalates, parabens, BPA, heavy metals like lead, mercury, sorry about my spelling, chemical cleaners and solvents, and then also air pollution. Toxins and fatigue, so methylene chloride, pesticides, lead, mercury, cadmium, arsenic, aluminium, nickel, silver, beryllium, tin. I'm sure as we're going through some of these, you guys are already recognizing some stuff that you've been exposed to. Toxins that cause skin problems. In the next slide, methylene chloride, metals, epoxy and acrylic resins, rubber additives, chemical intermediates, agrochemicals such as pesticides, fertilizers, commercial chemicals, acids, bases, oxidizing and reducing agents, detergents, weak cleaning agents. Okay. Toxins that cause headaches, carbon monoxide, cyanide, nitroglycerine, methylene chloride, pesticides, chemicals, hormone imbalances. And I just want to touch on the nitroglycerine actually, because this is an agent that causes the dilation of the vasculature, which increases blood flow to the brain, which is what results in the headaches. So just so that you know about that one. Okay, and then in our next slide with mood swings, volatile organic compounds, formaldehyde, I can never say it right, outgases, synthetic fragrances. So when we talk about synthetic fragrances, we are talking about the things that are literally in your skin products, the stuff that they make your soap smell nice, or your creams to smell nice, or your shampoos to smell nice. And then also your perfumes are another one. Styrene and xylene, so that's your paints and solvents. Toluene is in your automotive, you'll find them there. Your phthalates and benzenes, which you'll find in your hygiene products, and then your air fresheners, candles, and plastics, so the other phthalates, and then also mold. So the thing about toxins is that some of them may actually affect your nervous system and your endocrine system, which causes psychological issues such as depression, anxiety, mood swings, sleep disturbances. Alcohol, illicit drug use, and pharmacological agents are also psychological and emotional determinants of mood. Carbon monoxide and pesticides can cause neuronal cell death. from decreased oxygen supply, impairing cognition and leading to dementia. Long-term exposure to neurotoxins may lead to irreversible effects, and degenerative brain disorders. Okay. Right, muscle spasms. And we're not just talking about your normal muscle spasm that, you know, when you overexert yourself. We're talking about a chronic condition, which is caused by alcohol, electrolyte imbalances, adverse pharmacological effects. And often what happens, especially when we exercise or we are physically active, we forget actually, even on a hot day, to actually replace the electrolytes within our body. So our body uses all of this and then we don't replace it and we expect it to perform optimally, which is not going to help. Anyway, all of these things actually results in myopathies. Now, toxic myopathies can manifest as muscle pain or muscle cramps or severe muscle weakness, which is basically the death of muscle fibers, releasing toxic contents into the circulation, causing renal failure and possibly death. So this is really serious, and obviously this is quite advanced with the exposure. The next slide. So toxins and overheating or sweating. Generally, caffeine can bring this on. Organophosphates, which are found in pesticides and insecticides, so if you've been exposed quite a lot to them. And then also MDMA, which is ecstasy pretty much. So certain substances and toxins like caffeine, organophosphates, and MDMA, which is ecstasy, can increase the thermogenetic effects within the body, increasing thermoregulation, resulting in overheating of the body and sweating. Cholinergic toxicity caused by organophosphates, which are found in pesticides and insecticides, increase sweating alongside the other systemic effects. So basically, what we're doing with all this exposure that we're getting from everywhere, your bodies are kind of just absorbing it, but we're not doing anything to get rid of it. As Faranak mentioned, some of the cultures do have detox in, you know, it's either religious or in the culture where they actually are doing it often. But what's actually happening in the Western society more actually is that we don't detox unless we have reached the point where we are extremely ill and we then have to detox. So what I've done is I've just added in a couple of things that you can do to help yourself, or to somewhere where you can start to start detoxing. And basically, if you look over here, it's to eat whole organic food, and you'll see that you get those detox diets and weight loss programs where they incorporate whole organic food. So not these other diets that have, like Faranak mentioned earlier, you know, you've got like your sugar-free this and your sugar-free that. Those all have got chemicals in them, which adds to your toxic load anyway. So make sure you are going on a good detox diet and weight loss program. Okay, and the next thing is to switch your products. So switch your products to paraben-free and phthalate-free products in your moisturizers, your soaps, your body wash, your shampoos, your hair dyes, your makeup. That will all decrease exposure. Consume organic produce as a whole. So as in, you know, your farm produce and stuff like that. So introduce vitamin C and E and garlic extract into your diet. They found that studies show that the vitamin C, E, and garlic extract can help remove various toxins, primarily lead, from the body. And garlic actually decreases the absorption of toxins in the bones and soft tissues. Vitamin C and E were found to reduce oxidative damage due to their antioxidant properties, allowing the body to recover from lead and toxin-induced injury. Install water filters and air purifiers in your home, which can help to decrease toxin exposure. Physical activity and exercise are other excellent ways to detoxify, as toxins are continually released through your sweat. So you're getting your heart rate up and getting yourself all nice and sweaty, which we all love, I know, is definitely a good way to help get rid of your toxins. And then supplemental support to detoxify organs such as liver and kidney can also be utilized in individuals who may require it. Okay, so if you feel like your liver is taking strain or your kidneys are taking strain, i.e. if you've drunk too much wine the night before, it is good to have something that you can take to help support your systems to get rid of toxins. Okay. Right, so what I'm going to do now is I'm just going to run you through the oils. Faranak has nicely broken it down in how the oils actually assist in detoxing your system, but just to help you specifically. So in general detoxification, these are the oils that you would use. So cilantro, which is your coriander, lemon, grapefruit, celery seed, which we don't have yet in South Africa, copaiba, your turmeric. Detoxification blend is your Xender Grind, which Faranak has already shown us, and the Smart and Sassy. In the next slide, I'll talk about how to assist your liver. So your Xender Grind is what you'll use, and clove specifically to help to detox your liver. If you have got a liver disease, you would want to use your essential oils like clove, grapefruit, geranium, rosemary, and frankincense to help support your liver. In the next slide, we'll talk about kidneys. So to detox kidneys, your Juniper Berry is an amazing support to your kidneys, as well as your Xender Grind blend. And then the last one of all the systems, which we haven't really touched on, is your lymphatic system. So remember, your lymphatic system is your immune system. It is the key system in your body to actually getting rid of toxins. So your kidneys and your liver, and there are some other organs that are also involved in detoxing. But if your lymphatic system is compromised, then it's going to compromise everything. It works in conjunction with your organs. So to detox your lymph or to assist your lymph, grapefruit, lemon, juniper berry, basil, and frankincense. And you'll see frankincense is mentioned quite a lot here in the detoxes. And it's because of the cellular regeneration properties of frankincense. It actually tells your cells what they need to do. And so it helps to regenerate cells, which is absolutely phenomenal. Okay, we can move on to the next slide. Thanks. So basically what I've done is I've just included a few recipes here for you guys so that you can see that you can actually substitute your chemical products to homemade recipes. Obviously, you do need to make sure if you are buying like castor oil or any of that stuff, that it is comes from a reputable source, because the last thing you want to do is have chemicals in that as well. But so this is just a room spray blend. I have included the website where you can go find these so you can do them yourself. The next one, thanks Mel, okay, is dish soap. And you'll see your lime, lemon, and citrus. So basically your citrus oils are included here, and that's because of the shine and the cleansing properties of citrus oils. I'll leave this on a little bit if you're copying down the recipe, but there is a link afterwards so that you can follow through. Okay, and next, thank you. For those of us who are too lazy to wash dishes and don't use dishwashing liquid, there are dishwasher tablet recipes as well. So your baking soda, citric acid, and then On Guard is phenomenal. Remember, that is our protective blend. It's got your clove and your cinnamon and cassia and all those antimicrobial and antiviral properties in them. And then also obviously the grapefruit oil, because you need that shine on your glasses. Okay, right. There's a DIY laundry detergent. So washing soda, borax, Castile soap, and then also your favorite essential oil or blend. It really doesn't matter which essential oil you use here. Obviously, you're wanting your oils that have got cleansing properties. And then if you would like your clothes to smell nice, then obviously add your citrus as well. Okay, and our next slide. So these are the two websites where you can go and find recipes. The one actually has got it's an actual PDF with a bunch of recipes, and then there's another one that has just got a whole bunch. It's amazing. Okay. So basically, when you have toxic overload, it does manifest through your skin. and it manifests through many signs and symptoms that come out in your body. Your health and your wellness will be compromised. Again, I always refer to the Doterra Wellness Lifestyle Pyramid, because these are absolutely our foundation of healthy living, which is to eat right first. Make sure that what you are eating, I know, I'm so sorry about my kitten. He's so cross that I've locked him outside, but I have to, otherwise he climbs all over my laptop and I don't know what's going to happen then. So I do apologize for that. But yeah, so eat right, make sure what you are eating is wholesome. And in one of Faranak's previous talks that she did, if it has a label on it, it probably is not organic, so don't eat it. Exercise. Try to incorporate some exercise into your life, whether it be 20 minutes or longer, but they say minimum 20 minutes, and try to get the heart rate up, try to get that sweat going, because as you see, the sweat is what actually eliminates the toxins in our system. And then rest and manage stress. Now, stress is another, unfortunately, and I'm not going to go into it now, but the fight or flight that comes from stress, what it actually does to your cells and your organs, it really reduces their function. So you're not wanting to be in a stress state all the time. Because when it becomes chronic stress, it actually does affect your health. I had a client who came to me yesterday, actually, and she was talking about hormonal imbalance that is caused by stress. She knows exactly what is caused by. She eats all right, she exercises, but the stress levels in the past 3 years have just built up, and it's caused chaos with her endocrine system. And that's just one of the systems that it causes chaos with. So you need to learn to manage your stress. And unfortunately, when we do face scenarios, and I'm not talking about stress of sitting in traffic, I'm talking about, like, you know, money and family and relationships, that type of constant stress, one of the first things to go is your self-care. And the problem with that is, from there you get health decline, and you are constantly then trying to play catch up until your body says no more, and then you land up with a disease that you're going to need to start working on and spending time on. So if you want to learn more about stress, Mel has got her emotional link or class that she did last week, where she actually delves into the emotional side of things and stress and all of that. So go and watch that if you haven't. And then, of course, reduce your toxic load. Reduce what you are exposed to in your food, in your cream products, in everything. Just reduce that, and you will see your system, when it is able to function, you will be surprised, and you will be like, I have no idea how I have been functioning up until this point. And then also, as always, self-care, informed self-care. Go do your research, go find out about the products that you are using. And obviously, with your proactive medical care, support your system with the nutrients, support your system with the food. Make sure that you are supporting what your body actually needs to function. So there we go. That is me. I hope you've learned something new. And yeah, I look forward to hearing a lot of testimonies with the oils.
Absolutely great. Thank you so much, Jess. That was wonderful. I just think we have had such an amazing treasure today, just listening to these women. I want to add one more VIP guest, and that is our South African Gold Country founder, who has been living these essential oils and who's taught us so much. Darlene, I want you to also share, because I think there's some great value in listening to your pearls of wisdom. So over to you, please.
My pearls of wisdom. I'm learning from these ladies. Thank you very much, all. I wish I had a fraction of this knowledge 16 years ago, because I have a 16-year-old son now. And I was a very excited young mother, and I decided to take him off his dummy too soon. So instead of giving him his dummy, I started giving him bottle. And then he started gaining weight, and I decided, whoa, this is going to be a problem. I have to give him something else, and I started feeding the poor child Milo. So he is a giant at the moment. I think that might have had some some effect on that. But the thing is, Jess and Faranak, I'm wondering now, I don't know what I put in that little boy's body. I had so little information and knowledge at that stage. And he specifically has a problem with, he has excess sweating. So I actually had to buy him vests the other day to wear underneath his t-shirt. So I'll have to be looking into that and see how I can support and assist him to rectify my lack of knowledge as young mother. So glad to be here. Even though rather late than never, so we can all fix what we did wrong. A little bit on this support that I've been having from Faranak. It's been changing my life as well. I've been on the program since September with full support of Faranak, and this has been the first period from October to January, say in the last 15 to 20 years, that I didn't gain weight. So each of us have different medical history and different goals. For me, it is a huge accomplishment to have lost weight in this time. In the past 4 months over Christmas, I didn't gain a gram. I actually lost. And I'm feeling great. I'm moving forward. And it's permanent changes. Information that I never knew. And this is the nice thing about Doterra, guys. It's all about personal development. This is not about just selling oils or, trying something new. This is a life change and new understanding of information that we've been deprived from. For instance, sugar. I was drinking Coke Zero. I thought for many years, say the best part of 12 to 15 years, that I was doing something good. And when I felt guilty about having Coke Zero, guess what I did? I added a slice of lemon to feel more healthy. And now realizing the poison of vitamin C being added to that, that's information we don't have access to. So thank you for opening this up to us. And thank you for teaching us how to move forward and to incorporate the oils in our families' lives. Thank you. That's all from me. Thanks, Mel, for organizing these two lovely ladies.
These two are gems, and so are you. Thank you. Okay, so I just want to add just a couple of things from my own experience. If you asked me if I was addicted to sugar, I would have told you absolutely not. I was not one who added a lot of sugar. Yes, I'd have coffee, and the coffee, I drink good coffee. So if I drink good coffee, then it must have a little sugar in it, surely. And it was something that Jess and I did a lot of talks together last year in person. We ran a lot of classes and teas. And every now and again, Jess would literally just sow the seed of sugar's poison and sugar's poison. But you have these fanatics, that like literally are like on the right wing over there. And I was just like, yeah, that's fine. And then Faranak, the first week, she said to me, I want you to only cut out sugar. And I was like, easy peasy lemon squeezy. That is not going to be an issue. Okay. It'll just be like, no, nothing added. Well, I came to realize that almost everything that I was eating had sugar in it, and I didn't even realize it. I was in hell for 3 days, okay? I'm being honest. I was in hell. I was sick as a dog because I stopped sugar and I didn't realize. That has to tell you I had an addiction to sugar and I didn't even realize it. I was not adding 4 spoons of sugar to coffee. I was not adding a whole lot of extras. Now, if somebody gives me something and it has sugar added, it is actually too sweet for me. I can't eat or drink it. So I realized then that I had a problem. Did I battle to lose weight for years before I dealt with Faranak? Yes, it was an issue. I battled. I always say after I had my firstborn, I didn't lose 4 kgs and they just came with a whole lot of friends, okay? So that's the reality. A whole lot of friends came along and I never lost them. They carried with me everywhere. I want to tell you, I have not battled to lose this weight, and it's not about the weight. Faranak will tell you, the weight actually is not the thing. It's about me taking control of my body and my health and beginning to realize, hey, I'm about, hopefully, God willing, halfway through my life. So for the next half, I need to take care of my body because I want to be a rocking granny and great grandmother. I want to be fit and healthy and running around and playing cricket with them. I can only do that if I invest in me. So again, Faranak was so gentle, and I'm sure Darlene will tell you the same. She was so gentle, and she was like, you know what, Melanie, just one thing. And so sugar was it. The next week, she told me, now we're cutting out carbs. And that's been a journey because there's other alternatives, there's solutions. And so it is with my hair and with my skin, little by little. We're not saying, okay, these ladies have given you a massive amount of information and it's a treasure. But what if you take one thing today, and maybe you're like me, maybe you'll take the sugar, or maybe you'll start looking at the shampoo you're using. If you look at the lipstick, ladies, so many of the lipsticks that we wear actually contain really bad stuff. And do you know how sensitive, how much our lips are absorbing? And I want to challenge you with one thing. It was information I discovered in December, and it shocked me to the core. We ladies on this call, okay? So I'm going to say things, and people who know me know I'm so conservative, so I don't even normally say these words, okay? But I found out some truths, and I was shocked. And I was like, but why doesn't anybody tell us about it? They're talking about toxins today. Do you know that the majority of our, I'm going to say feminine products, our sanitary pads and the tampons that we stick in the most very private of places, do you know those that you just buy off the shelf are actually made from recycled material? I didn't know that. I could not believe it. I was shocked out of my mind because I'm like, no, surely they wouldn't do that. Do you know they take recycled material and they put it through a whole lot of chemical processes that make that recycled garbage come out white? That's what they do, ladies. And then imagine the chemicals that are going through to make that dirty stuff white. That is what these companies are doing. And I want to tell you, when I found that, I was like, but what's the alternative? You can, in South Africa, get organic. I know it blew my mind. I didn't know about this, but now I'm sharing the information. I went and checked this out, and it's true. Go and find out. Think about our young girls. Now, maybe 20 years ago and 40 years ago, it didn't happen. We didn't have the amount of toxins that we're being exposed to. Wonder why 40, 50 years ago, 1 in 10 people had cancer. Now, 1 in every 2 people has cancer. It's rife because we're being exposed to so many toxins. There are organic feminine products available. Look out for them, ladies. There are menstrual cups and all those other things, okay? I just want to say, watch what you're putting near your body. Watch what you're putting in your body. And then let us live better lives. Let us take decisions. One tiny, small action step every day. Find out more. Let's not be ignorant. I was ignorant for too long, and it cost me. It cost me years. It cost me pain, blood, sweat, tears, and a lot of money, because actually taking medicine is also very expensive. All the pain tablets I had to take, that was expensive on my body and my pocket. So I challenge you. If you want to know more, contact these incredible women. Speak to your Doterra wellness advocate. Learn how to start taking control. And I wish you awesome. I wish you blessing.